She never planned to change anything. In the beginning, her days were small and predictable, shaped by routines that asked little and promised less. Morning light slipped through thin curtains, touching the edges of a modest room where the world felt distant and unreachable. Her name was Alia, and like many women before her, she carried dreams quietly, the way one carries fragile glass, careful not to let them shatter in a place that did not forgive hope easily. The town where she lived believed in order above all else. People followed traditions not because they were sacred, but because they were familiar. Change made them uneasy. Women were expected to endure, not to transform. To serve, not to lead. Alia understood this unspoken rule early in life. She learned how to lower her eyes when elders spoke, how to fold her voice into something softer, smaller. Yet inside her chest lived a heart that refused to be reduced. It was not ambition that set her apart, but empathy. She noticed things others ignored. The way old Rahim struggled to lift water from the well. The quiet hunger in children who smiled too politely. The tired eyes of women who had forgotten when they last chose something for themselves. Alia felt their burdens as if they were her own, and this feeling unsettled her. It was easier to look away. It was safer to accept that suffering was normal. But her heart would not allow that lie. One afternoon, a storm arrived without warning. Rain battered the roofs, flooding narrow streets and turning homes into fragile islands. When the storm passed, it left behind more than broken walls. It revealed the cracks that had always existed. Several families lost what little they had. Among them was a widow named Salma and her 2 young daughters. Their house collapsed, and the town responded with sympathy but little action. People shook their heads, whispered prayers, and returned to their lives. Alia could not. She brought food to Salma that evening, then blankets. The next day, she returned with tools borrowed from her father's shed. Word spread quietly, a woman rebuilding a house. Some laughed, others disapproved. It is not your responsibility, they told her. This is how life is. But responsibility is not always assigned. Sometimes it is felt. One by one, people began to pause when they passed. A boy offered to carry bricks. An old man shared advice. Another woman brought water. What began as a single act of compassion slowly turned into a shared effort. By the end of the week, Salma's home stood again, not perfect but standing. More importantly, something else had risen with it. People started coming to Alia with their worries. Not because she had power, but because she listened. She sat with grieving mothers, restless daughters, tired laborers. She asked questions no one had asked before. What do you need? What do you wish could change? The answers were hesitant at first, then overflowing. She realized that suffering had been silent not because it was rare, but because no one had created space for it to speak. Still, the resistance came. Leaders in the town warned her gently at first, then firmly. You are encouraging unrest, they said. Women should not involve themselves in such matters. Alia felt fear then, real fear, but her heart did not retreat. It beat louder, reminding her that silence had never protected anyone. She spoke respectfully but honestly, explaining that care was not rebellion, and compassion was not a threat. The turning point came with the fire. Late one night, flames consumed a section of the marketplace. Panic spread faster than the smoke. Men ran in circles, shouting orders that contradicted each other. Children cried. Amid the chaos, Alia moved with clarity she did not know she possessed. She organized people into lines, directed water from the well, pulled frightened children to safety. She tore her own shawl to bandage burns. By the time the fire was contained, exhaustion had claimed her body, but something else had claimed the town's attention. They had watched her lead. No announcement followed, no formal recognition. But the next morning, When problems arose, people came to her first. Not just women, everyone. Her heart, once dismissed as softness, was now understood as strength. Change did not arrive like a celebration. It came quietly, unevenly. Girls began staying in school a little longer. Families discussed decisions together. Women spoke more freely in gatherings, their voices trembling but present. Alia encouraged without commanding, guided without controlling. She knew that lasting change could not be forced, it had to be felt. Years passed. Alia aged, lines forming gently around her eyes, earned through laughter and loss. The town grew with her. It was not perfect. No place ever is, but it was different. Kinder, more awake. When travelers passed through, they noticed something unusual. This place listens, they said. People here care. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky with quiet fire, Alia sat outside her home. A young girl approached her, eyes bright with questions and courage. "How did you do it?" the girl asked. "How did you change everything?" Alia smiled, the kind of smile that carries many years within it. "I didn't," she replied. "I just let my heart speak when the world told it to stay quiet." The girl nodded, as if understanding something important. And in that moment, the truth became clear. The greatest transformations do not begin with power, or anger, or force. They begin when one woman chooses compassion over fear, action over silence. When a woman's heart refuses to harden, even when the world insists it must. That was how everything changed. Not all at once, not perfectly, but forever.